I'm backing up my truck, I'm gonna hook it up, loading up my boat with all my gear. I've been working hard all week, trying to make ends meet, spending time wishing I was fishing. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing. Gather up your gear and come along. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing.
This is Terry Wickstrom. Join Karen Cullum, Greg Plaggio, and me as we take you to some of our favorite fishing spots from Colorado to Minnesota, the Arctic Circle to Central America and beyond, as we revisit episodes of Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures Television on the best of fishing with Terry Wickstrom.
You know, we're out here today. We're up in the mountains at Joe Wright Reservoir. We're going to take you on a little different experience today. We're going to go fishing for grayling. I'm going to go out in a float tube. We may fish from shore. You'll see people fishing from shore, canoes. Grayling is a unique fish, usually thought about in the Arctic, up in Alaska, but there's a few lakes in Colorado that have grayling. Now, these aren't huge fish. They'll get up to, I think the state record is 1.7 pounds, but they're a beautiful, unique fish with a great fin, and they're just pretty. When you get to see them, you'll just love them. It's a great opportunity. You can come up here, fish from shore, a belly boat, fly fish, fish with spinning gear. We're going to try to show you all the different ways. I got to get rigged up and get out there. I'm going to be out in a float tube. I've got a spinning rig and a fly rod. So just join me in a few minutes. You'll get to see me walking out here in the water, and we'll see if we can catch a few of these, okay? Since this is only my third time ever fishing out of a float tube, and I have all these extra accessories. By the way, we're going to use Bottom Line's one of their new Fishing Buddy 2250 with a float tube accessory. And we'll try to give you some close-ups and show you exactly what an effective tool that is. But you can't laugh while I'm getting out here. This is only the third time in my life I've ever gotten into a float tube, so you may not get to see this part. We may have to edit it out. You gotta learn to walk backwards is one thing. It's supposed to not be hard. I read the instructions before I came out here and said just to ease back in and it'd be no problem. Didn't talk about being an old fat guy and if that made a difference or not. We're gonna give it a try here. Nothing to it. This is easy. Heck, anybody could do this. Well, as I was telling you earlier, we're out here in Joe Wright Reservoir. Joe Wright's a small reservoir. In fact, you can see the entire lake behind me here. We're right off Highway 14. Come out of Fort Collins on Highway 14, just stay on 14 till you get past the turnoff to Chambers Lake, and it's right there. Doesn't seem to get a lot of fishing pressure. We were up here yesterday checking it out, and there was maybe 4 people, 4 or 5, maybe 6 different spots of the lake fishing it. And then most of them were fishing with either fly rods or a spinning rod and a bubble with a fly on it. In fact, more were fishing with a fly and a bubble than were fishing with fly rods, and they were all fishing from shore yesterday. We fished off the bank using fly rods off the dam, and we caught quite a few grayling and really had a good time. We came out this morning. There was a fellow out in a canoe using a little MEP spinner, and he said he caught about a dozen fish before the wind came up. We're coming out today, and like I said, we really want to try to catch them on a fly rod on the surface, but there's a lot of ways to come up and enjoy this. And since the wind is blowing right now, I had this little spinning rod rigged up while I was coming out here with a little Panther Martin spinner, and I caught a fish almost right away. So I'm going to fish with this for a while. Now the water temperature, I have a Fishing Buddy 2250 from Bottom Line here, so I'm kind of curious to see how deep the water is. I'm maybe 100 feet from shore, maybe not even, maybe 675. And right now I'm in 17 feet of water. The water temperature, this is the middle of August, the water temperature is 53 degrees. So this is a high water lake, and it doesn't get very warm, so you need some warm clothing if you're going to get out in it under your waders. And when it's calm, a float tube would just be the ideal way to fish this. When we were out here yesterday when it got calm, you'd see the water dimpling everywhere with the fish rising, and it was just really an incredible experience. And we're going to give you some close-ups of these grayling later. They're really a unique fish that only exists in a few waters in Colorado. And if you've never seen them before, fish for them, they're really beautiful, and they're very, very strong for their size. So hopefully we'll get into a few more fish here pretty soon. This cloud's going to blow over and hopefully calm down, and we'll just have a really great time. And you know what? No matter what happens, We're up here on a beautiful high mountain lake. Right now, there's a couple other cars parked up there, but I don't even see anybody else fishing. We're on a Saturday in the middle of August, just having a good time. So you can imagine what this can be like, and just come up and enjoy it. There we go, there's another one. All right. Well, on this little ultralight rod, this isn't a very big fish, but on these little ultralight rod, they just fight like crazy. This is a little bitty one. The ones we caught yesterday were about twice this size, and I'm sure we'll get into some bigger ones. But you talk about fun. I'm just out here, I'm really relaxing, waiting for the weather to, boy, they're strong. Can't even hardly hold them to get the hook off. I'm really out here just waiting for the weather to change so I can catch them on a fly. In the meantime, I'm having a blast catching fish. Get the hook out of him here. But what a tremendous little fish they are. There he goes. We're gonna give you some close-ups of these later because you've got to see these. They're just tremendous little fish. They're just so aggressive, such good little fighters, and they are beautiful with their unique little fin. Once you get to see a close-up and see how pretty they are, you're just gonna love them. You know, I haven't been out here 20 minutes yet. I'm just throwing a little Panther Martin spinner. I'm not even seriously fishing hard, just kind of holding in an area off the dam, waiting for the weather to clear, having a little conversation with you folks back home, and I'm catching fish. I mean, life can't get a whole lot better than this. So stick with us. I think we're gonna have a great time today. I was putting out this flying bubble to fish with, and I was gonna get my fly rod out. One took the flying bubble before I could get my fly rod set. I was just getting my line straightened out. I didn't have this little nymph out in that flying bubble for 2 minutes, and I got a fish on it. I tell you what, these are just such great little fish. What a wonderful little fish, and so many ways to fish for them, and so much fun. Here I am, just a little tiny prince nymph, about an 18 on a inline bubble, and I got one already. Look at that. My. Oh. Hold still, we're gonna let you go. Oh, that's a little nicer one too. Get me all tangled up trying to do too many things, boy. He swallowed that deep, but I think we're gonna be able to get him out okay. Yeah, came right out, good. Didn't hurt him at all. Well, the weather never has calmed down here yet, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to do some fly fishing anyway on the surface. I'm gonna let this nymph go out there in the bubble. I've actually caught some more fish on it that we didn't film. But I'm gonna get this surface slider. I have a little, about a size 16, 18 elk hair caddis. And I'm gonna start fishing that on the surface and see if we can get a couple bites. And if the weather looks pretty threatening, we may have to get off the lake. If we do, we may drive around and just do some fishing from shore back in the calmer side of the lake. But we're gonna stay out here and try to make the best of it if the weather doesn't chase us off, and try to show you just how much fun you can have up here and the different ways you can catch these fish. The other species that's in Joe Wright Reservoir, this fish we just caught, is a beautiful little cutthroat trout. Look at the colors on this trout. See the bright orange slash on it? That's where it gets the name cutthroat from. Beautiful fish. Look at the colors in its fall colors. Orange slash. Beautiful, beautiful trout. Well, tell you what we've done. The weather's been blowing in and out so much. We were down by the dam before, and the wind was getting hard to deal with and hard to hold position. And so we came down to the other end of the lake where it's a lot calmer. As you can see, it's a lot nicer down here. And I think you can catch these fish anywhere in the lake. I've also just got the fly rod with me now. And what we're doing is I've got a 2-fly setup. I'll show you that in a little while. I've got an elk hair caddis dry fly, and down below that I've got a little nymph that's about 2 feet below it. So the water's still a little rough. There's still some wind, so I'm not seeing the surface action yet. So I wanted to get that nymph down there a little bit, but I don't think it has to be very deep. If we don't get some action this way, we'll try different depths and different flies. But I think we'll have some success here and just have a good time. Oh, nice fish. Oh, it's pulling me all over. This is a good fish. There we go. He just, oh, did he slam it? I think it might have took the nymph. I didn't see him hit the surface. Boy, he's pulling me all over. This is a nice fish. Nice fish. Oh, it's not as big as I thought. It was kind of, he was hooked on both flies, and the one fly was kind of holding him sideways. So he's not as big as I thought he was, but still a nice grayling. Boy, they're strong. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Look at the nice fin on them. Boy, they're pretty. Get him back in the water. Thank you, Mr. Grayling. All right. What a peaceful, enjoyable way to fish these flow tubes are. Out here just gently paddling around. Even though there's a few other people fishing on shore, you come to these higher mountain lakes where there's no water skiing or jet skis, and small lakes where you can only get on with this kind of a device. And it's really wonderful. I mean, it's just such an enjoyable way to spend the day. It's quiet and so serene and nice. Just a great way to be out. You know, we're getting intermittent calm periods here, and we're starting to see more and more fish rising, so hopefully we'll really start see things take off on the surface. And it's so much fun just watching that fly. You just get it out there and kind of watch it floating, and it's just the anticipation of waiting for a strike. I've missed so many fish today. One thing about these grayling, they will frustrate you a little. They've got a small mouth, and they'll knock that fly all over a lot of times without getting it in their mouth. And you get strike after strike, but when you do get them, it's just incredible. They're so much fun. You know, I don't know what the key to the location of these fish is. They seem to be almost everywhere in the lake. Oh, I just missed one. They seem to be almost everywhere. And when it's real calm, you can watch for rising and cast to them. But all we're doing right now is just blind casting. Drifting around. And I don't know much about the habits of graylings. I know they're a member of the salmon trout family that feed on a lot of bugs and insects, and they have small mouths. But as far as their location in the water, or whether they're a roaming type fish or they relate to structure, I really don't know. But in Joe Wright Reservoir, they seem to be everywhere. When the water's calm, you'll see them rising across the whole lake. And we've been able to catch them almost everywhere, so I'm not sure that I think they're prolific enough in this lake and aggressive enough that you can catch them almost anywhere. Here we go. I don't think it's very big, but he's swimming with me. Oh, it's a nice one. It's a nice one. Nice one. Oh, they're fun. Look at them fight. Look at him fight. Boy. Oh, they're a beautiful fish. Come here. Come here. Oh, come here. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice fish. Good fish. Boy, these are fun. He's coming at me. I was going to try to get him on the reel, but he's swimming at me too fast. I have to hand line him. Now, when I say nice fish, these aren't giants, but they're just fun. Just fun. Oh boy, I'll tell you what, they'll put a bend in your rod. Look at him bend that rod over. It's a 5-weight rod. He's got it bent right into the water. Oh, he's taking a line on me. Come here. Come here, you. Boy, they're pretty in the water. Oh, they're so beautiful. You know what? The reason he's pulling so hard is he hit the fly and then hooked himself on it, so he's pulling sideways. I'm going to get him back in the water. Get him unhooked. These are such pretty fish. While I get him unhooked and back in the water, why don't you go watch these messages? We'll be back in just a minute. want you to look at how beautiful these fish are. This is just the average size one you'll catch up here. It's about 10 inches maybe, 11. You see how beautiful they are? And the real, I gotta get turned around the wind here. The real, put that rod down. This pretty fin they have on them. Look at that beautiful fin. They're such a beautiful fish. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh, not a big one, but a nice. What a nice jump. Oh man, these are fun. These are so. Oh, he's coming right at me. Come on. Hold on. Here he comes up. Boy, you know, I think it's illegal to have this much fun. Just one right after another hit. Look at him go. Boy, there. Oh, you know what? Not sure. This is a grayling. This is another cutthroat. All right. Oh, yes. Oh. Beautiful. You can see the colors on that. Just tremendous. Look at that. Got a little flatback canoe out here now. It just shows you that this lake is anything you can hand carry. You can get on this lake with, and electric and hand propelled motors are allowed. So there's a lot of ways to fish. You can have a great time fishing from shore, from a belly boat, wading, or from a small canoe or a small john boat or something that you drag down. Oh, missed another one. I'll tell you one thing about this lake is you don't go very far between hits. The fish bite constantly. You might go a ways between when you get the fish on the hook, but they'll be biting steady. Actually, that's a little aluminum boat with an electric motor. Oh, missed another one. Too busy talking and not fishing enough. Oh, feels like a nice one for a grayling, if that's what it is, unless it's another cutthroat. We've been catching a number of cutthroats too. Oh, nice fish. This is a nice fish. This is a beautiful, beautiful grayling. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's a nice, nice grayling. Big, healthy, fat grayling. Oh, that's a beautiful fish. We're going to give you guys a closer look at this, so give me a minute to get into shore and we'll show you what this one looks like. This is a really nice grayling, and I want to show you how pretty these fish are. The fly came out. Unhook the fly out of the net first. Ready? I want to show you how pretty these fish are. This is a healthy fat one too. I'm trying not to hurt it, so I hope I don't drop it. I want you to see what they look like. How pretty they are. It's a beautiful silvery fish with those black spots. And what I really want you to see is this fin they have on them. They're a very unique fish to Colorado. And if you see that big fin, that's the hard to do this. The trademark of the grayling is that pretty, beautiful fin on them. This is a beautiful, healthy, fat fish. I want to get him back in the water before I hurt him too much. You can take 6 or 8 of these home, by the way. They are very good to eat, but just take a couple if you do come up here. But look at how pretty that is, how beautiful. What a pretty, pretty fish. I'm going to get him back in the water in just a second here. Put him in the net in the water for just a minute and let him revive. There we go. There we go. Oh, another nice grayling. Oh, right close to the belly boat. Just was dragging the fly in the water there. Boy, these are nice fish. Come here. Oh, nice fish. These are so much fun. Got to turn my back into the wind here so I don't get all out of range. Get him up here. Oh, look at that pretty fish. Boy, these are beautiful fish. Got the hook in the net. The hook came through and got into the fabric of the net, and I don't want to hurt the fish. So see if I can work it out here. There we go. Get him back in the water. Let him swim away on his own. And there he goes. Boy, that's fun. I tell you what, if you get a chance, I think the ice goes off Joe Wright Reservoir somewhere in late June typically. Or maybe earlier than that, depends on the weather. We're up here middle to end of August. The bite is phenomenal. There's fish everywhere. If you really enjoy fishing and you want to experience something a little different, come up and fish for the Grayling up at Joe Wright Reservoir. Just a couple hours out of Fort Collins. It's beautiful, it's peaceful, and you'll have a great time. So get up here and enjoy it, and join us next week.